Thinking, I spent my teenage years listening to David Bowie and Beatles and all that, so I never quite knew what was going on in football. That was my brother Declan. Obviously very different growing up in Dublin when you've got your brothers Kevin and James are both like yourself football crazy. Was it a father? Where did all this come from?
Yeah, so funnily enough, my father played rugby. He played rugby for Blackrock and Sea Point, and we never got into the rugby. Always soccer, always football. So I have three brothers. Four lads, and three of us played. I played League of Ireland, and the two lads played in England for years. So James is the oldest, he had the best career out of us all, and Kevin was the best of us. So I was kind of caught in the middle of that per se. So yeah. But
that jump from playing your guitar in your bedroom to actually getting up on stage, that idea that you all went for it professionally, that's a pretty big leap. I don't know if one just jumped and the other said, if he can do it, I can do it. Or...
Yeah, I suppose pretty. No, I suppose not so much like that. It was more, we always played football out in the green. We played in the garden. We played for our local team in Bray, Wolf Town, and we all just loved it. We played every kind of minute of every day, and then ultimately got to, I suppose 14, 15, 16. Things got a bit more serious. We went into Joey's in Dublin and took our opportunities kind of from there.
And did your father ever forgive you for the fact that you guys went to the other side?
Yeah, not so much. Yeah, he still has a passion for rugby. It was his game. So, listen, he supported us all the way through.
So I know you sold your soul when you're 19 to Bray Wanderers. That was the beginning of your professional career. But there was a pivotal moment before that. A year ago, before that, you met somebody that maybe, I don't know, might have been a bit of an inspiration.
That's right. So yeah, I was lucky enough. I went away on trial to Newcastle. Actually with my younger brother Kevin and Eamon Zaid, and I was a little bit older than the lads, so trained the first day with the under 18s and did well, and then the second day was told, listen, I'll be training with the reserves. So went in, the reserve team manager said they were going to be doing X, Y and Z as part of their session, and I said, great, no problem at all. And then I looked back up, and then Bobby Robson was the manager, first team manager, came in and introduced himself and said, we're changing things around, we're going to play the first team against the reserves. So long and behold to me, that actually meant playing against the first team, which had Alan Shearer, Duncan Ferguson, Gary Speed and a number of others, Shay Given and whatnot. So that was my baptism of fire. I was marking Alan Shearer and Duncan Ferguson for the first 30 minutes. So struggled badly against Alan Shearer, who in fairness he was the England captain at the time. Absolute, he holds the record for the Premier League goal scorer and that, so he did score against me, so it was a great experience nonetheless.
We should say that every career has high points and low points, and there's times when it's a struggle and times when it's a joy. 8th of February 2003 might have been one of those days where it was a joy. This is the day you scored a particularly pivotal goal for Drogheda.
That's right. I actually remember it well. It was we'd actually struggled. It was the playoff relegation promotion final
Galway, I think,
against Galway. That's right. And it's a two-legged affair, so we actually played really poorly away. They beat us 2-0 away, so they were the favourites to go up, and we were the favourites obviously to get relegated. And we played them in United Park. We drew 2-2 in the match, which meant they went into extra time. And in the last few minutes of extra time, a ball came across Andy Moyler back post, headed it back to me, and I was able to get my head on it for the winner. So we ended up beating them 3-2 and surviving that season. So,
I know
huge.
I know it's over 21 years later, but I'm sure you're still, part of your brain is still celebrating that.
It is, exactly. It is. I get stick when I'm up in Drogheda. Some of the old players, the amount of celebration we went out on it, so it was great. Yeah, super.
So as a profession, I always think, I mentioned music. There are certain professions that are just, the wind will almost be a part, where you get blown left and right, and you have a moment where you're the right person at the right time, with the right song, with the right goal, whatever it might be. Was that a tough life? Were you generally always kind of happy with it? Because I know you stepped back a few times before you eventually retired in 2014. But was it always joyful? Was it?
It was. No, the main part it was. It was always enjoyable. I enjoyed the dressing room, the banter, the training, the fitness, and obviously the success on the pitch. We've got some plenty of lows, plenty of highs there, but overall a successful and enjoyable career. Yeah, the issue was probably dovetailing it. The hardship came when you're dovetailing young family work commitments and then trying to play at that level.
Right.
It's a young man's game now, so like the last probably 4 years, 5 years was a bit of a struggle looking back, you know.
Yeah, I'm wondering whether at what point when you're on the pitch and you know the game's going well and all that, you just in the back of your brain you're thinking, I got to sort out people's mortgages. There's a real mess out there. I want to get involved.
Yeah, there is. Listen, I was lucky enough to keep. I was offered a couple of full-time roles in football as playing wise when I was going through, and turned them down because I was in the bank at the time. And yeah, listen, it ended up being a very good decision, especially in the League of Ireland. Full-time football isn't really there isn't longevity in it.
Right.
So yeah, within that's part of the day job. I was lucky enough I had flexibility in the roles. I was always kind of mortgages, sales on the road.
Yeah.
Could dovetail it with the football career, which is lucky, and obviously home life as well.
Every parent kind of says that to their kid if they're going to get involved in something that isn't 9 to 5. They just say, you know, have a plan B, have a backup. But was that something, I don't know if your father or your mum had sort of instilled that in you, or whether it was just natural for you to?
Yeah, I suppose natural and a bit of luck along the way. That in the financial services industry, a profile in my game kind of helps.
Right.
So helped me along the way, as in when you're doing well on the pitch, you get a bit of publicity, you get people recognise you a little bit. So on the sales side, it can help. You know,
Right.
it can help internally as well with some of the maybe the internal promotions and internal networking and stuff like that.
I know you retired in June 2014. You were club captain at Bray Wanderers. I don't know, that was very emotional, whether it was just a natural thing of, well, you know, you had a few injuries, I think, and it would have just felt like, well, you know, it'd be silly for me to keep going if I'm...
Yeah, so I was unfortunate in had a great career. Injury got the best of me at the end. I had tendonitis in my Achilles, in both Achilles. We're looking at operations and stuff like that, but I was 33, going 34. It probably was, listen, looking back, it was probably, I should have retired maybe a little bit sooner than I did. But like that, it's hard to give it up.
Yeah.
Hard to give it up, and I do miss it. I miss the fitness, I miss the training, I miss the dressing room. Even nearly 10 years on now.
And do you allow yourself a little bit of football now? I don't know whether it's safe to sort of just go out and have a kick around,
Yeah,
or whether...
yeah. Lucky enough. Listen, I've got 2 boys now. They're the next generation coming through. So Ben is in Cabinteely under 17s. I'm coaching in there, so it's great to be still involved.
Great.
And my youngest lad, Josh, is he's in with Pat's in St. Pat's in their academy. So
Cool.
the next generation is coming through now.
They've got a ready-made manager who knows what to do and how to do it. And
Exactly. Yeah.
Magic.